Welcome to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you'll hear about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Now, let's join your hosts, Spivvy Williams and Terrible T Guy.
All right, guys, welcome to day number 2 of the drag boat races in Livermore, Kentucky. Day 1 just was not enough. We had to stay over. And
like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, we're back.
We're back, and we're up early so we don't miss an absolute run of this. These guys, T, are crazy.
That's putting in mileage, baby.
I have never – 220 miles an hour, guys, setting up on a Coke case is the way I do it. I mean, they're in seats with parachute packs on their backs. They have every safety thing known to man, but they're still nuts as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you know, like I said yesterday, you don't have the smell of the rubber, but these cats don't have roll bars and no seat belts. So I guess that's why I guess if they get ejected, the parachute will soften the blow when it hits the water, possibly.
Well, I guess can you imagine, Terry, falling out of one of them things? You know how you used to skip rocks across the pond when you were a kid? And try skipping across a pond at 200. You know, this is absolutely the craziest, wildest thing that I have ever been to in my life. I thought I'd been to some pretty cool events.
These cats pack wheel stands all the way down, man.
Yeah, these guys guys, no offense, but these guys make you in the cars look like what you do is super simple. They actually rock and roll. Boy, they fly. They got supercharged Chryslers, supercharged big block Chevys. They don't hold back a thing.
Well, you know, the boat racing has got to be just a hair maybe less expensive than the car racing because they don't have to buy tires.
Yeah, but I tell you what, we're going to get to talk to one racer that has a turbocharged IndyCar engine in this thing, and he went through there faster than Grant going through Richmond. I mean, it was unbelievable how fast that thing was moving when he got through the other end. I mean, this thing is mortally flying. It just, I don't know, it amazed me. And I've been around. I've seen a lot of stuff. And
this is not your first rodeo.
No, but, well, it is in essence, T, because it's my first rodeo at the boat drags, much less to see a guy that has an IndyCar engine in a boat. They told us the motor alone cost $60,000. And you hear that thing, and it sounds like one of the turbo Indy cars coming through there. And I guess it should, because basically that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. We had to come back for a second day in order to introduce you. It just wasn't fair. As good of people as are here and as good of racers are here, they deserve more time than we were giving them. And so we had to make the second day and be able to come back to fill them in and introduce them to the world. I mean, man, these guys are awesome.
And all the boats are just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. We're going to also we found out that there's also a personal watercraft class, and what they mean by that is like jet skis, that kind of thing. And those things are running over 100, Terry.
I couldn't even imagine.
Oh, me neither. Well, guys, we're going to get with it, bring you day number 2. We're going to have a heck of a time here at Livermore. Just hang in there with us, and we'll get our first victim, and we will be right back. All right, guys, we always said that we found out from the mayor in the earlier one that this is a very much a family event, and we're getting ready to prove that to you. Also, he said you need to go check out the personal watercraft, which I guess T and I were wrong. We were calling them jet skis, but I guess that we might have been calling them wrong. But we have a father and daughter team here. We've decided both of you all are certified crazy to be doing this. But what is your name, sir?
I'm John.
John, what's the pretty girl's name?
Haley.
Haley. What's the last name, kid?
Hughes.
Hughes. Okay. Kenneth Howard? No, I'm just. No. All right. Where are you guys from?
Freeburg, Illinois.
Well, where is that now?
Southeast St. Louis.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. And number one daughter here is it. She's racing against you. Is that right?
No, she has her own class. They have a below 18 and above 18.
Oh,
class.
I get you. And are you afraid she might spank you right hard? Is that what it is, or?
Well, she has once or twice.
Yeah,
We've
I
raced
figured-
some second chance stuff like that together. So yeah, she's put it to me every
I
now and
figure
then.
you guys paired them off out there somewhere just to see who was the bad guy on the block, right?
Well, I'm the bad guy on the block. I've
Oh.
got a fast little jet ski. So
How
it's
fast is that, sir?
It runs about 84 miles an hour.
Whoa.
Run high 11s in a quarter mile. It's pretty quick.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Now, tell us, Haley, is he as bad as he says?
Sometimes.
Oh, can you spank him?
No.
Huh?
Sometimes.
Sometimes you can get him.
Sometimes.
Do you make him live with it after you do?
No.
Oh, you don't rub it in?
No, I'm nice.
Boy, we need to pay attention to us. We're going to teach you how to do this deal. We're going to teach you how to talk enough smack to get him really fired up, okay?
Okay.
All right. How old are you, gal?
15.
15 years old. And how fast does yours run?
About 68 on its fastest.
Wow. That's unbelievable. What got you involved in this? Dad being a part of it or something, or what?
Yeah, Dad.
Dad, just wanted to go in there and have some fun. Is that right?
I was jealous. They all got to race. Why not me?
Oh, okay. Well, you don't want him to have all the fun, do you?
No.
I didn't think so. Now, what about this? Do all the guys chase the pretty girl because she drives so fast, or what?
Well, I think they're afraid that she'll beat up on them. That's the.
I always wonder. We've had a couple of gals that are really good racers on this thing, and one little gal drives a late model stock car, and another one drives an A fuel dragster at 280 miles an hour. And I asked him, I said, what's the deal if you go out on your date and the kid in the GT Mustang picks you up and says you want to see how fast this is? Are you just sitting there laughing at him, or what are you doing? I don't know. How many boyfriends you got, girl?
None.
None. Why? Pretty girl like you ought to have them lined up.
No.
No?
No.
They just haven't picked the right one. Is that it?
They're all stupid.
Okay. All right. Girl after my own heart. I like it. How long you been doing this, sir?
About 6 years now.
6 years.
Yep.
Is there a particular reason you picked the watercraft over a boat?
Well, my wife says I'm not the brightest bulb in the bunch, and she thought that getting me into a jet ski instead of a boat would be safer and slower. But
I don't
kind
know,
of changed
buddy.
that opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. These actually operate, clue me if I'm wrong here, but don't they operate on the same principle as like a jet boat as far as the impeller type thing?
Yeah, pretty close. It's a little bit different, but the amount of horsepower to weight ratio is just phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. I have, you don't know us, and we're going to give you a packet before we're finished, as long as we've got some. If not, we'll give you some decals. But you're getting to talk to guys that back a long, long time ago, we're the only guys you probably will ever meet that rode jet skis at a shopping center parking lot.
Okay.
Actually, what we did, we took steel signs and blocked the drains. We had about a 4-foot lake. And at the time, I was a Kawasaki motorcycle dealer, and that's when the Kawasaki jet skis first came out. We got them out there and rode those bad boys.
I'd give that a whirl. That'd be all right.
Yeah, we made the front page of our local newspaper doing it. Cheap advertising.
Yeah, did the police follow you up?
No, really, what could they say? If you think about it, I mean, it was water, and we were on the water. We weren't on the street.
True. That's
So, I mean, I don't see where they could do a whole lot. Well, maybe they could have. They didn't.
They're enjoying the view.
I guess they've chased us for some other stuff, though. Listen, my friend, we're going to cut you guys loose. We wanted to come over. The mayor told us in the beginning show that we had to talk to the personal watercraft guys. He said, you guys are totally crazy. And then we meet the pretty little girl, and she just is nice and calm and mannerly as she can be. So she's not crazy. And you don't seem that way.
She wants to
Are
run
you going
my
to?
ski, so
Huh?
She wants to run dad's ski now. So.
Oh, does she?
Yes.
Have you ridden it, hon?
No.
Oh, he won't. Oh,
He won't let me.
He won't let you.
He won't let me.
Why?
He says it's too fast for me.
Well, just because it's that fast doesn't mean you got to push the button, does it?
Yes, it does.
Okay, all right. Dad, when's she going to be able to?
Oh, I imagine another year or so. I wanted to get a little more
A little more experience.
Yeah.
You got to take care of them daughters. Now, that's important. You have to take care of the daughters. Okay. All right. Well, listen, you're being commandeered for money, so I know what that is at my house. So we're gonna cut you loose. But we want to thank both you guys for being on Event Radio. This is a ton of fun to meet such nice people and the family deal. That's a great thing. And Haley,
Yeah.
take him out and wear him out. All right.
All right.
Okay, guys. Thank you for being on Event Radio, guys. We'll
Thank
be
you.
right back. We're going to stab and steer the golf cart, spin around a little in this mud, and we're going to go see one of the guys that runs over 200. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back, and we're moving it into the boats that actually we came here to see. You know, the blown alcohol boats that are the bad boys on the block. What is your name, sir?
My name is Tip Draffin.
Tip, how long have you been driving one of these things?
I got in my first drag boat yesterday morning.
Oh, you're kidding.
Nope.
Well, there's got to be some experience in something else.
Yes, sir. I ran Pro Mod drag bikes for many years. We would run 195, 200 miles an hour and a quarter. And then I got the opportunity, made 11 passes in a top alcohol dragster, and they would run, I ran 250 in those.
We know a little about that. We know a little about that. You don't know who you're talking to, but that's okay. We'll introduce you later on. The boat, and honest to goodness, knowing what you've done in the past, I can't do anything but call you a crazy man to get in the boat.
Is that good or bad?
I think, I don't know. It's a deal that I understand doing it. It would scare me to death, you know. And I've done a little bit like what you've done. So, tell me the difference.
Actually, the motorcycles, out of all of them, were more of a handful. On the top end, the chassis are twisting. You're, getting close to that 200-mile marker, and they were pretty hairy. That alcohol dragster, you knew you were going very fast, but you felt pretty safe. And so far, with the passes in the boat, I've gone 131. It's felt safe. I've not had any issues of it scaring me or anything like that.
The problem that I've always seen out of the boats is getting air under them. How do you control that? How do you keep it trimmed down to the point where it doesn't do that?
Actually, the boat I have is an old top fuel alcohol boat. It's very heavy compared to most of the boats that are here.
Uh-huh.
So it's pretty safe. It's wider than most of them, heavier, longer. So it's actually, I could tell when the air got under the boat yesterday on 131 pass, and it just kind of floated, but it didn't seem uncontrollable or crazy in any way.
All right, does it have a two-speed, like a B&J type two-speed in it, or what? I've heard you guys shift them, when you took off, and I understand the direct drive part back to the prop and that stuff, but is there a two-speed unit in there, or is that it, or?
Actually, my boat does not have a two-speed. It's just got a clutch assembly only.
Okay.
So I flip a switch. It's into the clutch. You gag it, put it to the floor, and then clutch reacts.
Like a Crower
drags. Yeah, exactly. And then it goes 1-to-1 and off and running.
So it's like a Crower Glide.
Yes, sir.
Or like a top fuel car would do.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I know a little. And you won't find a lot of them that has, what is it, 1271 or 10?
Actually, I'm running 1471.
14, okay. When they get that big, it's easy to mistake the length of the rotors, Spinning at what, 30?
Actually, we just put 20% in this morning.
Oh, so there's a lot left. There's a lot left.
Yes,
Big
sir.
Block Chevrolet, of course.
No, sir. Actually, that's confusing. That engine is actually a 460 Ford base, 532. It's got a set of blue Thunderheads that have Super Cobra jet intake.
Really?
But it has Chevrolet exhaust, and that's where the confusion comes from.
Sort of like a Cleveland that you can put some Chevy heads on, I guess. Something like that.
Yeah, I guess something like that.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's been an experience for Terry and I to watch this. This is our first boat drag race.
Oh.
Now, to give you a little information on us, and we're going to give you a packet, we are not radio people.
Yes,
I ran an alcohol funny car for years,
Okay.
so I know a little about this.
A little bit.
Terry's an ex-professional speedway motorcycle racer, so been on ESPN more than Captain Kangaroo. So
Cool.
we know a little about the motorcycle side. And we're cheating a little because we had been told about you already, and that's why we're here.
Oh.
but we, a guy like you that has sat in a lot of seats, is somebody we really wanted to talk to because, honest to goodness, this scares me to death. I don't mind telling you, and I'm all for you, buddy. I mean, you're our hero.
Well, I appreciate it. What's the crazy thing is, 2 months ago, I got a call from a friend. Says, "Hey, call this guy in Nashville. He wants to talk to you." And he had a blown alcohol altered and runs 4.0s in the 8th and runs all over the country. And it was a free ride. And he goes, "Come see me."
Rat Trap or which one?
I don't know.
Ron Hope is a buddy of ours. He's in Franklin, Tennessee. He runs a Rat Trap fuel altered.
No, this was a guy in Mount Juliet.
Okay,
I don't remember his
that's
name.
the old Nanook car.
Could be.
Yeah, he's a nice guy too. I mean, we know all those guys.
Oh, okay.
We do all those kind of races. And
well,
trust me, that is the only thing a little more insane than what you're in, as far as I see. You know, a fuel altered, you've got to bang your head against concrete just a little bit before you get in there. But I'm not sure you hadn't hit it a couple of times to get in here.
Well, probably a little bit. But on that deal, my dad says, "Okay, what are you going to do? You going to run a boat or you going to get in a car?" And I kind of looked at him because the boat he ran with the team through the 70s and 80s. I said, "I guess I'll call him and say I won't be able to do both." So that's what I ended up doing.
Well, I tell you what, my friend, our hat is off to you because we've been around this stuff our whole lives. And I can't imagine, even when I grew up as a kid, and the CD we're going to give you sort of introduces us to you. But I grew up with two fellows by the name of Sterrett that had a boat. Their dad drove a unlimited hydroplane called Miss Chrysler Crew. And it was the only naturally aspirated boat back then to run with the Allisons. He won 2 world championships. It's in the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame. And Terry and Billy went on to drive Miss Budweiser and Miss Madison.
Oh,
so,
man.
I got a little boat experience, but not a whole lot. They hauled me around as just a little fat guy to just sort of hang out with them because we raced go-karts together as kids. But the boats I find extremely fascinating. We were going to come over here and knock his show out and leave, and we said, "Hey, we got to do these guys justice. We can't leave without talking to you and a couple of more."
Well, I sure do appreciate it.
Guys, now explain to me: is this just an overflow for the gear drive that goes out the back, or what is that?
The one on the valve covers?
No. The one that comes out of the gear drive in the front.
Oh, okay. That is actually the clutch assembly, and it's air activated.
Okay, so it squeezes it together. Right?
So we put air. It's opposite of a Lenco.
Okay.
We actually add air to take it out of gear, and then we dump the air
to make it
lock up. So it's in gear all the time, and it's just like your car. If you push the clutch in, we're just pushing air in it and then releasing it when we leave.
Gosh, technical stuff. Then what about the overflow? Now, I guess that's what that is, coming over the top of the injector? The black pipe.
The black pipe, actually, that is a rope protector. When we stand, instead of just sitting on line like a car, we actually have to hold a rope. And that deflector is when we let go of it, it does not catch the injector or any part of the boat. In case the boat was the rope was low, it would go on and over past the boat.
Oh, man,
that's
cool.
caused a lot of accidents, probably more than crashes today, is the rope getting hung up. You've got other people hanging on the rope. It sinks boats sometimes. So all the boats have to have rope deflectors.
Well, buddy, that's educational for us because we sure didn't know what it was, and we were too stupid to figure that out. You know, man, this is so neat. I just I'm in awe. That's all I can say is I'm in awe. How many events you going to run a year?
This year we had a lot of difficulties. We're going to go to New Athens in September, and then if we feel froggy, we might go out to Phoenix in November. But pretty much the season's over with, and next year we will have more of our ducks in a row and make every event my dad decides to go to. But all the Kentucky Lake ones and the ones close in Wheatland, Missouri, Lucas Oil has built a beautiful track, drag boat only track in Wheatland, Missouri. We'll make those two. Augusta, Georgia, and years ago my dad traveled to Texas a lot, so I would love to go to Waco just to say I raced there and some of the Texas tracks.
So your dad actually did this before you, right?
Yes, he was a crew guy for a boat called the Mempho Maniac in the late 70s and then all the way to about 86, 87, and they ran an unblown gas hydro.
Yeah, well, see, a lot of people don't realize this, but an old top fuel guy by the name of Eddie Hill, he actually started in the drag boats and got bit by the bug and And Eddie went on to be a motorcycle dealer and run a yellow top fuel car everywhere in the world and set more records than a little bit. But he always liked the boats. He liked the boats over the car.
Yes, my dad was there when Eddie Hill hit the short 200 miles an hour and lived to tell about it. And also, the boat that I owned was owned by another top fuel drag boat guy named Billy Todd. His boat was called Billy the Kid. And I'm not sure what year. It was either 86 or 87. He got killed in a top fuel boat.
Well, I tell you what, buddy, I'm at awe. I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to be on Event Radio and sort of give us the true racer insight of it, and because you can compare it as far as to the dragster, to the drag bike, to the things that we cover every day, just about. And like I say, this is our first trip to the boat drags, and we are so in awe and impressed. It's unreal.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to talk and keep coming back.
Hey, buddy, we're having a blast. Guys, we're on Event Radio. We're going to take a quick break so you can say hi to our sponsors or listen to at least what they got to say, and we will be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the boat drags, and one thing that we think that motorsports event do better than any other sport out there is before and we believe in this, before you actually attempt any great thing, you sort of need to ask for a little help. And there's one person that can help you. And you sort of got a direct link. You have a direct line because you are the chaplain. What is your name, sir?
I am the chaplain. My name is Vince Otway with an organization called Racers for Christ. We're well known in the racing community.
We sort of know you.
Yeah, we've been around a few years anyway.
Yeah, I know. You guys do. You guys, what's so cool really is you do have church services the morning before the event, and Terry and I have attended several of them, and we appreciate you doing that because we're not always at home where we can go to our church, you know. And even though we cut up and kid and all that kind of stuff, we are Christian guys. We believe in God, and we don't mind who knows it. And,
Absolutely.
You know, we tell them that on this little radio show that goes all over the world all the time. So
All the time.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, if I was going to drive one of them things, I'm going to pay you a little extra, do a little extra praying for me.
Yeah, we'd
That's
sort
the
of, it would be
craziest thing
nice
I
on
ever
these
seen.
boats. This is our first time to the boat races.
Is it?
We would
Okay.
want a two-seater and
want
have
a
you in there
tutor
with
with
us. You know? Do you do the boats a lot?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have been with the Kentucky Drag Boat Associations this is my 13th year. I've been with Racers for Christ for a total of about 20 years already.
Uh-huh.
And the Kentucky Drag Boat Race is, Kentucky Drag Boat Association, rather, is my primary chaplaincy. I guess that's the correct word. I'm not
Boy,
sure
you
about
can't
that.
say that I butchered the Queen's
Well,
English. That's all right.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
that's
No,
a-
go ahead. I'll
got
play.
my tongue tangled up over
Na-
my
na- na-
teeth and
na-
couldn't see what I
na- There
said.
you go. That's all right.
So I am the state coordinator for the state of Kentucky, and I have 11 chaplains under me, but the Kentucky Drag Boat Association is our primary concern.
There you go. There you go. So you pretty much go to all the events that they are. Do you travel to other stuff other than them? Or?
Yes, we do. We do 4 events for Kentucky Drag Boat Association, 3 of them at Pisgah Bay on Great Kentucky Lake, and then this one here at Livermore, Kentucky on the Green River. We also are part of several other couple of motorcycle ministries in my hometown, and we also go this year. We're going to New Athens to help those folks out there. That'll be the last race for the St. Louis Drag Boat Association.
I see.
So,
So
we
you
that.
do a little motorcycle stuff, huh?
We do some motorcycle stuff too.
Now,
yes.
where's your hometown?
Paducah, Kentucky?
Oh, we know where that is.
Yes. You know where that is.
Yeah, my grandmother had a farm in Marion, Kentucky.
Well, that's just right up the road
Yeah,
from
got
us.
in a lot of trouble drag racing down there as a kid. You know,
There has been some times, yes.
Yes, but that's all right. We won't
Yeah.
talk about that because I'm not sure the statute of limitations is run out.
No, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Are you a minister full time, sir?
I am. Also, I have worked construction for some 35 years, and I am a licensed ordained minister. I now am employed by TVA at the Shawnee Steam Plant. I'm in maintenance there, and I'm the associate pastor at one of the biker churches in Paducah.
That is cool. That is great.
we,
You know something that, of course, Terry, you haven't officially met us, and we'll introduce ourselves a little better a little later. But Terry is an ex-professional motorcycle racer. He
Wonderful.
ran speedway bikes for years, and I tell him, I kid him that he must have hit his head several times because you get on a motorcycle weighs 150 pounds with 80 horsepower on nitromethane with no brakes and do it on an ice rink.
Yes.
With tires that have studs in them about that long.
Yes.
You're racing a chainsaw, and that's a little dangerous.
Got to be something sick about that.
Yeah, I don't know, but so far he's still here and he's doing the radio show and that kind of stuff. But we think that I think the biker ministry is really cool because they get a bad rap,
Most of the time, yes. Bikers, by and large, are very patriotic, and they're really good people. Downbeat, they're good people because they do a lot of charity work.
Yeah, they really do, and they're there's always a few of what we call as far as the bikers go, had to let him go by real quick. But there's a few of what we call the dirty shirts,
Well, that's the one percenters they used to
the
call
one percenters that give the other guys just a little bit of a bad rap, And the other guys are actually, they're doing a lot of good.
Yeah. Well, we started out with some 15 members, and now we're running in excess of 200 on Sunday morning. So the Lord is blessing, and we've just acquired a new building, by the way.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
The Lord's blessing.
Does it have seats in the back? We may come.
Well, the roof won't fall in on you. I can guarantee you that.
That'll be good. Because, see, Terry and I, we always have to sit on the back row, and I don't know why that is.
I don't know either.
Is that well, see, I guess maybe you could motivate us to move up front.
Sure, I believe we could.
All righty.
I believe we could.
Thank you.
Well, that's one thing about the chapel services that we have at the drag boat races. You don't have to worry about coming dressed up or anything like that. It's just come as you are, because that's the way really that God accepts us, is just as we are. Don't have to worry about the roof falling in on you, because we don't ever have one.
There you go.
It's all
buddy.
out in the open.
Well, we felt really really privileged because the mayor gave us a couple of shirts here. Now we could go and sit on the front row. I mean, we'll be able to dress well enough to be on the front row.
You're dressed well.
There you go.
Very good.
Listen, my friend, thank you for a couple of things. Thank you for all the good you do for so many people. Thank you for exposing the real truth to the masses, if you will, at these events where the racers are. Because Terry and I have always said the racers are the number one people in the world. They have morals. They have values. They know how to show respect. They do everything that everybody else ought to learn.
Well, I've not seen a racer yet with his pants down around his ankles.
No,
There
I
you go.
haven't,
Amen
I
to
haven't
that.
seen them trip over them yet. And, they can form more than two syllables together usually at the same time.
Generally speaking, yes.
Generally speaking, And it's just sort of cool. I told a guy I was on the PA yesterday at or not yesterday, but a couple of days ago at Beach Bend International Raceway.
Yes.
During the Lucas Oil race there. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I said, when I die, there's one thing I'd like for them to call me. And he said, what's that? I said, simply a racer. That's all I care.
Yes.
My
Amen
friend,
to that, brother.
thank you for being on Event Radio. We appreciate it more than you know, and appreciate you for doing everything you do, and just for being a nice fella.
It's a pleasure. It really is.
It's
an
pleasure.
honor to be a part of God's family and to associate with these good people. They are a family.
They're
the
great.
boat racers are
They're
a family.
great. We're having fun, guys. You're on Event Radio. We are at Livermore at the Boat Drags, and if there's such a thing as the Fun Police, they will get us at any time. Don't go anywhere, guys. We will be right back. All right, guys, we are back, and believe it or not, everybody else we've interviewed has been very important so far, but the gentleman we're going to introduce you to now is probably one of the most important guys to make this whole event a success. What is your name, sir?
I'm Patrick Hill.
Pat, and where are you from, buddy?
I'm from North Vernon, Indiana.
That's a pretty little ways up the road, not too far. But you actually are what they call a diver, and you. It's your responsibility if they do have a crash to rescue that driver, right?
Yes, sir.
How much training did you have to go through to do that?
Well, I've had EMT school. Did a few diving classes. Most of it comes from experience. Drag boat rescue divers are a little bit different than your everyday scuba
I would think
divers.
so. Yes, I would think so.
Uh,
I mean, you that guy's life is flat in your hands, my friend.
You're the driver's best friend, I would say.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You have got to be the boat driver's best friend. I mean, man, when he needs you, you know.
Well, I can't take all the credit myself. You know, I've got a good crew out there on the rescue boats. You know, and, there's actually 3 of us out there today. Yeah, we take it pretty serious.
Well, hey, I'm telling you what, if there
serious,
is
that's serious.
if
Heart
there
attack.
if there is a serious position, it's yours, my friend, and it's a deal that Terry and I are big time impressed with the preparation, with all of the forethought, I guess you would say, that you guys put into this. This is not just going and dropping your boat in the water and going out and playing. This is some serious deal.
Yeah, we never stop thinking into it. You know, even at Christmas time, I'm thinking about next season and, you know, what kind of new equipment I'd like to have and, you know, things as long as that.
Have you been a diver for a long time, just a regular scuba diver for a long time?
I actually started diving due to boat racing. Joe Neville's the guy that I used to work with. Joe's not here today. He's been diving with me for every bit of 20 years. Joe motivated me to learn how to do it. And I went to school and learned how to actually scuba dive, and then everything from there on out's been experience.
Buddy, I tell you what, our hat's off to you at Event Radio, because we actually interviewed a little fellow that works for the NHRA Safety Safari that did what you do, but he did it when, like, funny cars were on fire and that stuff, wearing the suits to get in there. But you got to do it. Do you have like a double respirator where you can actually let them breathe coming up, or how does that work?
Yeah, every capsule boat, on the capsule boat specifically, they are on air while they're driving that boat. Should something happen where they're in an accident and they even go unconscious, they can still breathe. We have fittings on our gear that hook up to their gear so that you know, we can bring him out just about under any circumstance.
Buddy, I'm amazed. And Terry and my hat is off to you. Our hats are off to you, sir, because what you do is flat cool, flat ass cool. No, that's all you can say. You ain't supposed to say that on the radio, but that's what it is. You know. And like I say, I know you're busy. You can't come packing all that tank and all that up this hill. We couldn't do that, much less what you do. But thank you so much for taking a minute to be on Event Radio. We really appreciate you taking the time for us. And more than that, we appreciate you doing what you do.
Well, thank you.
All righty. We'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, we are back from the Livermore boat races. And our trip through the pits, we almost turned our golf cart over when we stopped to see this boat. This is absolutely an engineering masterpiece that we are looking at. The gentleman that we're going to introduce you to is the, I guess in a boat we're supposed to call you the captain, a jockey, whatever. Chauffeur,
well,
crazy man.
My wife would have to be called the owner.
Okay, that's the way it is in most of our households. But this gentleman has a very, very different occupation. He actually builds IndyCar engines for a lot of people you might recognize. First, tell us what your name is, sir.
My name is Bill Delvey. We live in New Palestine, Indiana. We're on the east side of Indianapolis, and back in '99, I got hired by John Menard to build a bunch of his IndyCar motors for the Speedway, and that lasted for a long, long time. And we sat on the pole one year, and we've had 5 or 6 engines on the front row. So we've had a lot of good success with IndyCar motors, and that's how one of those motors ended up in the drag boat. Except that we did have to turbocharge it to get
there. You go. And we're sort of we were going to spring that on our listeners. We're going to take some pictures of this, and we're going to flip this behind our show on our archive page so that you can actually look at this. This is absolutely an engineering masterpiece.
Thank you very much.
Goes through a 2-speed Lenco, or a 3-speed Lenco, I'm sorry, and with an air shifters. I mean, this thing is... This is not a budget operation, okay? How long have you been in the drag boat business?
We've only been doing this about 6 years now. I used to race some circle boats when I was younger, and got out of that, raised a family, and after the family was all grown up, and my son's with me here today at 33 years old, so we started drag boat racing about 7 years ago.
We had a young man on our show. We went and did a shifter go-kart race, and the young man's name is Chad Lee, and he had a family business that they built the hulls for a lot of the outboard. I'm trying to think of the fella's name that was so big in that. But you may know who I'm talking about. But he educated us just a little, not enough,
right?
But just a little. These boats weigh nothing.
These boats don't weigh a lot. They don't weigh a lot, and we saw when we decided to do this deal, we saw a lot of benefits with the lighter motor. A lot of these big block Chevys and Hemis and Rodic motors, all these engines are real heavy. 1,100 pounds or better. The motor in this thing is 500 pounds. So you take 600 pounds out of a hydro, you're going to do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of motorcycle motors that weigh almost that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, yeah, we saw if we could build a 500-pound engine that makes 1,100 horsepower, it should do something in a quarter mile. And it's
I'm telling you, hey, it does. We have watched you make a couple of passes, and we're standing there. Terry made the remark he would not get out of the electric chair to get in that, and it just and coming from him, I mean, he's the guy that wants to do everything.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
I want you to either verify or expel a myth that I have always preached.
I'll try.
I have always preached. Of course, I'm an old alcohol guy. I mean, from way back.
Yes, sir.
Everybody wants to know this race fuel's better than this. This race fuel's better than this. This race fuel's better than this. And my answer to them is, what kind of fuel does an Indy car use? Because there is no budget with an Indy car.
We use straight alcohol.
Straight methanol.
Yep, straight methanol.
That which has been my argument over. You use a third more, but the motors love it.
The motors love it. You can run them fat. The motors just seem to like the fuel. You can be real aggressive on the tune-up, and you're not going to kill parts.
That's right.
So
that's right.
We like it.
And it's better than any race gas out there.
We did run on gas for a year, and we melted pistons in about 4 seconds, and I bailed on that real quick.
Yeah, I can understand. I can understand. Yeah. You got to sort of make that thing back there happy first.
Yep.
And then work on just getting it a little evil a little bit at a time.
We've been working on it pretty steady for the past 4 years. We've been pretty competitive, and we haven't been killing any parts. The motor that we have in here now, we've been running for a couple of years. We ran the last one for 4 years, never touched the motor.
All right. Is that cool or what?
So we're loving that.
Hey, I'm telling you, guys, there is so much about this operation over here that I totally don't understand, and I admit to being stupid on a lot of stuff. The twin ignitions, I mean, it's got everything. It's got everything. Number one, that a top fuel motor has.
We run a wasted spark system on it to where it fires both intake stroke, compression stroke and exhaust stroke. It keeps the plugs clean. We run a crank trigger like most drag cars do, but
sure.
We on the starting line is where we have to do some different things because an Indianapolis motor has no stroke, and everybody will tell you in boat racing it's all about torque. This motor doesn't make torque, so we need RPMs and we need to do some different things to make boost. So on the starting line, you'll hear that thing popping and banging, and all we're doing is basically turning the ignition switch on and off and backfiring in the pipes. That spools the turbo, so when we do launch, we got boost. And,
well, we met your pretty wife over there, and they were talking about it leaving a little lazy,
Yep.
And I said, well, maybe there's some turbo lag there, and because that's sort of that's a common problem with turbocharged vehicles.
There is a little bit of lag, but we're running this 9-second bracket. The boat should actually be in an 8-second bracket. We're in the 8s more than we're in the 9s.
I bet.
So we struggle quite a bit trying to slow it down rather than trying to speed it up.
Have you ever run any cars?
I ran drag cars when I lived in Detroit for a couple of years, but it was purely as a hobby, kind of like this is. But this really, I can't get this out of my blood. I love this.
Buddy, I tell you what, our hat is off to you, and you have more nerve than Superman as far as we're concerned to get in that thing. I'm amazed. To start with, if you look at this as a rational, off-the-street person, here's a guy that's going to get in a boat running this fast. The only thing he has to slow him down is a parachute that he's wearing on his back, and of course a Hans device, which everybody should wear one of those. But if you think about those things, why would you do that?
You know what it is? It's a very simple answer to
All
that
right,
question.
good.
There's good people here, and we're having a lot of fun. It's meeting people like yourself. There's a lot of great people around these things.
Well, I tell you what, buddy, the pleasure has been more on our side of the table because we're fortunate. We get to go to a lot of places, but we don't get to go and see as we can say country-wise, as slick a thing as this. The engineering, the thought, the things that 99% of the racers out there are not even smart enough to comprehend. And I'm not blowing your bubble here, but you've got to be a pretty smart guy to just be able to figure out how to make that start.
I can tell you, we struggled quite a bit, but nobody likes to give up on anything.
No,
we struggled quite a bit. When we first set this thing down in the water, we were leaving on a clutch pedal. There wasn't a clutch pedal in any of these boats, but we were running on a clutch pedal and the gearbox didn't like that. We were trying to launch the boat at 10,000 RPMs, and we exploded the Casale into pieces, and we struggled for a couple of years, and we're just getting it figured out.
Well, I mean, we feel like a genius because we just figured out what the tube over the motor was for just a few minutes ago. We didn't know what we thought. Perhaps that was an overflow, or we really didn't know that kept the rope out of the way. But we had to learn, and thanks to the mayor, he invited us over, and
he's a good man.
Hey, he's fun.
He's a good man,
and exposed us to this, and we love it. I mean, we don't mind telling you. We just stand there watching you guys with our mouth open.
We love having you here.
Hey,
it's great.
We love being here. We know you got to go out there and you got to assault that river again.
We're going to try it one more time.
But it has been an honor for us to have you on Event Radio. We really, you're the highlight of our day.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, you really are. I mean, we appreciate really slick engineered stuff, and there has not been a thing that we have run at in a lot of events. And I'm not saying just the boats. There's a lot of race car events that we go to that you'd have them scratching their heads for a long time.
Well, that was part of the idea. If you build something so different nobody can copy you, you might have a little bit of an advantage.
Well, my friend,
we're trying for that.
Hey, buddy, trust me, as well as that thing runs, and with what you've done to it, if there is such a thing as a best engineering award, if you didn't win it, I'd go up and smack the guy that voted. Yeah, because it is absolutely awesome.
Thank you very much.
But
I appreciate it.
Thank you for taking a minute or two and being on Event Radio. It's really meant a lot for us to you to take your time and do that.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
We had fun, and maybe we can introduce you to a bunch of more folks that will be fans because we're now one.
Please do. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, thank you for being on Event Radio. Guys, we're going to stab and steer. We're going to go down here and watch this guy bonsai through the water, and we're going to sit there and just be totally amazed. Guys, you're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back. Well, T-Bone, what about day number 2?
I tell you, I thought day number 1 was cool, but day number 2 is just out of sight.
I'm sitting here with my mouth open.
And this has been our backyard, Spivvy.
I know. And the guy, how about the guy that builds the IndyCar motors for the Andretti's? And he's here in Livermore, Kentucky, racing a drag boat.
A nice drag boat.
Oh, and trust me, the engineering on that boat makes a funny car look like Ned in the First Reader. I mean, it's if this guy didn't win engineering awards everywhere he's ever been in life, something is big boy wrong. Now, something is wrong with the system. Because
I heard Spirit, you had to have a college education just to put a decal on that boat.
Well, I tell you what, it would take something for him to. I'm sitting there in awe, and I've been around mechanical stuff, and you have too, our whole life. And this guy is absolutely the most amazing fella that I've run into in a long, long time. You know,
very smart man. Very smart.
Buddy, smart. I mean, just unbelievable.
Well, what about the mayor of Livermore, Sonny? That man, I tell you what, he knew all the racers by first name. They all liked him. I mean, what kind of politician is that?
I guess that's why
this would be seriously a place to move to, just where you could vote for that man.
I wish he'd run for governor, where we could all vote for him, because there is not a nicer man on this planet than him.
He's almost too nice to be a politician.
Really, and that's what I said. He's one of the few politicians that's not lying when his lips are moving. because most of them are, and they tell you what you want to hear, and then they do something completely different. But I am so thrilled that he asked us to come to this event. I'm like you. I thought I was happy yesterday.
Yeah.
but today, to talk to the chaplain, to talk to all the people that we've talked to, the guy and his daughter racing the jet skis, what I call them, they're personal watercraft, but I call them jet skis.
Fast personal
Yeah,
watercraft,
run 90-some
too.
mile an hour through there. We watched him go through here, and it looked like there was about 6 inches of it in the water. The rest of it was all air. And it's just really, really cool to be able to watch this and to be on the inside, I guess you'd say.
Well, also, the sun is out a little more today, and I believe there's a few more bathing suits. I hadn't noticed, but I think
I'm
there's
sure you haven't.
A few more bathing suits out, and, of course, being close to water like this.
You know, when we looked at the pictures, guys, of day one, and we sort of just scoped through them, my buddy T, you wouldn't know there was a boat in the place.
Oh, you mean they got boats here?
Yeah, they had boats here that day.
And here we go by Miss
Miss
McLean.
There you go, Miss McLean County.
Got a crown on her head.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I tell you what, this place, if you're looking for small town America, where everybody is just, they're cool, they know each other by their first name, and then you bring in all these guys to put on this show. Man, how
and they're
cool
glad
is
you're
that?
here. They're glad to see you.
Yeah, they make you feel at home. I mean, I don't know. Usually, when we meet a public official, we're in trouble. You know what I mean? And
call them Your Honor.
Yeah. They're still running one or two through here, guys. So that's what you're hearing in the background. But you're hearing about a 1,800 horsepower, 300-pound without the motor boat going through here at almost 200 miles an hour. How cool is that?
I tell you what, I'm surprised there's not more people out here fishing, because the fish are coming to the bank with them rascals coming.
The fish
through
are
there
running.
Like
I mean, they're running away. And then there's an old bridge, guys, that we probably didn't get a picture of. But Did you get a picture of the old bridge? Well, this bridge, I'm going to show you how cool these guys are. They've taken one end of this bridge. Of course, it's been replaced with a new one. But they've made an observation deck on top with chairs, with seating, and you can set up there. Man, you talk about a grandstand. You see the whole river, and it would be just relaxing to come down here and just sit.
And the new bridge they've replaced it with, it still looks like an old iron bridge, but it's a Richard Petty blue. I was looking
there
for
you
43 or STP sticker.
Well, knowing you, if we got an STP sticker, you'd want to go down there and stick it on. This has been an absolute treat for us to come over here. We get to go to a lot of events, and we get to see a lot of people and do a lot of things. But this has been an absolute pleasure on our side of the table. They're getting ready to run the finals. These guys that it seems it's almost deja vu of the people we've interviewed, Terry, that on this show we've actually picked the winners, and
we always do.
They're here to run the finals. It's just phenomenal. I'm just blown away by this whole experience, and the fact that they keep. How about this? Have you got enough horsepower to stop a barge line while this is going on? They did. Sonny do. Guys, we appreciate more than you know you joining us on Event Radio. We may get drowned out by the last pair of these unlimited blown hydros that are getting ready to run. But as every show, we got to thank our sponsors, Beach Bend Raceway, Beach Bend Park. They're getting ready to fire them off. Here we go. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable.
It don't take them long to get from here to there, does it?
No, it doesn't. Beach Bend Park, Beach Bend Splash Lagoon, Beach Bend Raceway.
Quick Fuel Technology and good friends at Final Finish.
The Gearhead Gazette, the coolest car guy magazine on the internet, bar none.
Bar none.
If you want to know everything that's going on in the car hobby, just get a hold of the Gearhead Gazette. GearheadGazette.com on the computer, and you'll find every cruise, every cool event, every happening that there is. And the last people, but not least, the guys at Holly that make everything cool for your hot rod. The carburetors are just one thing that they make.
Spiff, Holly and Quick Fuel both is well well exhibited here today, I guess I'm trying
Boy,
to say.
I'm telling you, well represented.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, these guys use their stuff, and they are proud of their stuff. They really like it, and we're just tickled to death to be able to come here and bring this show to you. T, I may play in the bathtub when I get home.
I tell you what, I got a little yellow rubber ducky. If I put a motor on that booger, we'll have some fun.
There you go, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on Event Radio. This has been a great day for us. We hope it's been a good show for you. As we always say, if you enjoy what we're doing, please tell a friend. But if you don't, keep it to yourself. Guys, we're going to hit the road and go to the house. I don't know where we're coming from next, but we sure hope you're with us.
Thank you for listening.
All right. See you guys.
You've been listening to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you heard about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Join us next time with your hosts, Spivey Williams and Terrible T Guy.